So, the one thing they did wrong, that's why I have one string instead of two, because we're going to emphasize the one thing they did wrong, and they love their little symbols. But anyway, the one thing you guys did wrong was you bragged about all the terrorists, the domestic terrorists that you arrested. You arrested this guy for doing surveillance on this. You arrested this guy for, researching this website. So it's illegal to drive on a public street around a mansion that you like. It's illegal to research something on the internet. If you don't want us to research it, why didn't you shut down the site? Got you there, didn't I? Yeah. That's why when you come to arrest me, that's part of what's going to set it off. And guess whose families are going to be targeted as well? You guessed it. The captain, the sergeant, the arresting officer, the police chief, the mayor, the fucking governor. Everybody who had anything to do with it. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you a story. It's completely fictional, nothing to do with nothing. Once upon a time, there was a bunch of Freemasons that worked at a school. And they had a pagan symbol. And their goal was to bring down the church. Specifically the Catholic Church, because they were the #1 Christians who posed a threat to them. So they used all kinds of twisted logic and twisted science and biased fucking teachers who are feminists or Masons themselves, and they wished to create an equilibrium. They even made a site, they had Mason after their name, where they go through the 32 degrees of Masonry and what the guideposts are and what the principles are. And the 32nd degree is equilibrium. Now, if you're teaching all the 32 degrees that you need to be good and you need to be righteous no matter what, and it's the traitors who did something wrong, not the 33rd degree, and then you turn around and say we need an equilibrium on the 32nd degree, what is the 33rd degree about? You guessed it. It's about using evil to bring in that equilibrium to further the great work of the grand architect. So, whether we're talking about the whores, the complete tramps, I guarantee you this. God has told me that no Eastern Star Mason will go to heaven. God has told me that none of the Scottish Rite are going to heaven. None of them. None of them. God has told me that very few of the Prince Hall Masons are going to heaven, and very few of the York Rite are going to heaven. God has told me that the Rose Cross orders and the Rose Cross degrees are irrelevant. That the Arab degrees that make you eat shit, literally, are scum. And that the Asians don't know what they're talking about. Simply straightforward. Khufu, Menzies, Imhotep. These are the guys who gave you the sun-called religion from the pre-dynastic kings. Fucking idiots. So anyway, that's how the story starts. It ends with my persecution, or the character who is kind of like me persecution. And then 10 members of a group who have been thoroughly trained in the war arts, from explosives to hand-to-hand combat, to how to properly hold the rifles and small firearms, and fully automatic machine guns as well. How to apply tripods, how to make homemade bombs, and how to make homemade rocket-propelled grenades out of large cylinders, pipes, copper, brass, steel, primers, conductors, detonators. How to properly apply physics. Crossbows that shoot explosive arrows, and chemical weapons. So, the attack had begun. The bombs were in place. Boom! Everybody inside was dead. Everybody outside running in chaos as smoke bombs are flying, as bullets are flying, as high-powered BBs are flying. Rocket-propelled grenades. Those that have been homemade and those that have been purchased. Weapons that the ATF supplied to Mexico found their way back. And they found their way back to this particular group. Teachers, students, undercover cops, The first responding police officers were getting blown the fuck up, sniped, shot, gassed, sprayed with chemical compounds. Over 1,000 people were killed. And all the people who planned the assault got away. Some of them became on America's Most Wanted list. The other ones, their identity was never known. And they all had a pre-planned getaway, hideout. All these plans were put together prior by a master tactician and a prophet, the priesthood and your military leader, the military priesthood, who saw what was to come and told you how to respond. And in the end, the Masons were dead. The students in secret societies who had plotted to help them bring in a school of thought were also dead. Many police officers, some of the Masons who took special interest in this because they were protecting their fellow Masons at school, were dead. By the time the SWAT team got there was no revolutionaries to be found, just the wounded and dead. The SWAT team assisted the ambulance, and for hours they were cleaning up the mess. The moral of this story is no matter how much you prepare, there's always going to be an idiot that brags and brings down every countermeasure you have in place. You thought you could deter the inevitable? You thought that the prophet was some punk? You thought that those faggots at Columbine were the best at military assaults on government buildings? You thought that those crackers and those nips, Virginia Tech, they know how to kill people in a superior fashion. What about the man who would apply principles that are far superior to all of them? You fuck with me, you all die. Just like the story. All of you. None of you will be spared. Family members will be killed. While your family members are dead, and you know that the assassin is going to come for you next, you remember the pain you caused my family before you start whining about why yours was targeted. You think I can't find you fools with old phone books, with internet access, with a think tank of 300,000 around the world? Oh, it's just a story. And I'm just a harmless old cripple who lives in the middle of nowhere. Like the Egyptians, doesn't know anything about science or math or God. Right? I'm just the guy you could fuck with and get away with it, right? Everywhere I went, I set up regiments. Of course, this is not a threat to anybody, because I'm not a terrorist. I mean, me, look at my record. It's clean. I don't threaten people. That's absurd. Me? Me? Connect with other people and plot in a criminal fashion? That's preposterous. That is preposterous. Me connect with other people and plot in a criminal fashion. That will be the day. Me know how to work the streets and get the illegal contraband that I want? How to extract the contraband from the Mexican gangs? Me? I don't know nothing about bikers and Mexicans and small towns and Frisco and Oakland and Hayward and South. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know anybody who lives there. Me? A tactician? Me train somebody in hand-to-hand combat? I don't know no hand-to-hand combat. It's not like I have a fucking trophy. It's not like I'm the fucking MVP fucking P. It's not like I'm sharper than any man alive. It's not like I'm the champion of this fucking city, who's also the most intelligent person in this nation. That couldn't be the case. The champion is not a genius and a military tactician. He's not a Renaissance man. The Egyptians didn't teach the woods how to multitask, and everything they know about science, alchemy, religion, history, and paper. It's all absurd. It's all conjecture, speculation, a theory based in nonsense, nonsensical logic. It's a logical fallacy. It's counterintuitive. Of course, me, I'm a saint. I wouldn't hurt any cracker that was fucking with me. I wouldn't plan their death. I wouldn't wait years to execute. I'm impatient. I don't know how to incrementally bring in anything, including 500 videos. I don't know nothing about nothing, and I am no threat to anyone. Of course, this video is just about speculation. It is just me acting just like a lot of my other videos, and it has nothing to do with anything. No foreshadowing whatsoever. And you can quote me on that.